Alex Belfield.
Well, you join me here at the Carlton Studios on Lenton Lane in Nottingham, and I'm currently backstage on the set of Family Fortunes. Now, this afternoon, we're going to be talking to the star of Family Fortunes, Les Dennis. We're also going to speak to one of the families, but I'm now joined by the producer of the programme, Denise Liddington. Good afternoon to you.
Hi there.
How are you?
Fine, thanks.
Thanks for talking to us today. Now, it must be like coming home for you, because you were born in Chilwell.
Yes, born in Basking Lane. Then, of course, the war started, and Mum took me to Coventry for safety. Hitler found we were there, and bombed 8 bells out I was there. So then we moved back to Beeston and lived with Granny up Derby Street.
How do you become the producer of one of the most highly rated shows on ITV from a lad in Chilwell that was sent to Coventry?
Being in the right place at the right time. When I left school, I wanted to be a joiner, and then they offered me an apprenticeship, which in those days you could do, and I took an apprenticeship in radio and television servicing. I worked for about 7 years with Alex Owen Limited, local, well-known Nottingham television company, and then when I was 24, sister-in-law phoned me and said, there's a job going at Alpha Television in Birmingham. Then there was an events floor manager wanted, so I managed to get that job, which meant that I did the Sunday night at the London Palladium, Royal Command performances, went off to Australia, we did the Moscow, the Olympics at Moscow, a fantastic life, I have to say. Then I had the opportunity to be seconded to direct. I directed the local news in Birmingham. And I'd worked for John Scofield, who was the head of entertainment, and he lifted me out as a floor manager, and he lifted me out as a director and put me on to Blockbusters, which we won the award with, and just went from strength to strength. Blockbusters, Price is Right, Bullseye, Q Gary, New Faces, all those sort of shows. And then John then promoted me to produce as well, and I produce and direct now.
You must have worked with everybody.
Just about, yeah. I've stood shoulder to shoulder with the likes of Bob Hope, Richard Burton, Shirley MacLaine, to name but a few. I mean, I forgot more people than I worked with, to be honest, because Lou Grade at the time, when we did the Sunday night at the Palladiums in the 70s, he was very, very astute. He used to ship people in from America to do the Muppets, and of course we used to have them on a Sunday night then, free of charge, so he could stage a very international Sunday night at the London Palladium at a very low budget.
In its day, I mean, all of those programmes you mentioned have been revolutionary, particularly the Palladium shows. Do you not miss that? Because there aren't any of those shows around now, are there?
There aren't, yes, yeah. I mean, I always say I've lived in the best time of television, the best period. I think as the new generations come into television, obviously new ideas will come in, but some of the old ideas are the best ideas, like Family Fortunes, been going 21 years now. It's our 21st birthday we're celebrating tonight. And it just goes from strength to strength. It's the oldest running, most popular game show, and I couldn't really tell you why. I could only tell you the elements of why I think that's the case. But it's always the very simple formats that are successful, like Millionaire.
Absolutely. Now, as the producer, what do you do then? What is your job? Really,
it's to get the team together, if you've got the right team, you really push it and it goes. I select all of the questions, which is a very important part of the show. But it's literally oiling the machinery and keeping it all going.
Now, every week you have to survey 100 people. Where do you get the people from?
They're all initially we used to literally survey 100 general public, and we got about 30 or 40 replies. So now we survey ex-contestants. So we keep a computer log of all our contestants, there are thousands of them, and we never poll the same people twice, and we poll the contestants year on year, because each year we then got a few hundred more, and we usually poll 150 and get 100 replies.
Now, I always remember Bob Monkhouse saying that the concept of Family Fortunes is quite difficult, because, now I've got to be careful how I say this for fear of offending, but to actually find 5 members of a family who are of equal intelligence is in fact quite difficult. Do you find this?
Well, it is, but that's why we get some of the most ridiculous answers, I should say, to questions you've ever heard. Because there's normally one great character, there's normally 2 likeable people, and we try and make sure there are 5 top notches, but you can't guarantee that, because once the adrenaline's going, people just stand there and say some of the most ridiculous things you've ever heard.
Bob always used to say that you used to get an intelligent mum, a half-bright dad, an attractive sister, a brother who can add 2 and 2, and then there was Uncle Fred on the end. There was always Uncle Fred, wasn't there?
That's right. And he's usually the one that, if he does big money, you say to him something like, name a South American country, and he says Texas. Or name what was the one we had? Name an island off the south coast, and the lady said Hawaii. I could sit here telling you those all day long.
What is your favourite of them all? I mean, there's the great Naomi Campbell one that I'm sure Les will tell us later, but what's your favourite?
My favourite probably is name an Arthur, a famous Arthur, and he said Shakespeare. Arthur Shakespeare.
That's a great line.
That probably is my favourite.
Are you still living here in Nottingham?
No, we live near Burton-on-Trent now. My relatives are all over here. We left Nottingham about, well, when I was about 25. I used to travel to Birmingham at first, and then I smashed the car up in the ice and whatever. So we decided to live near and. But I thought I was quite astute, really, for my age then, because I thought, ATV as it was then would stretch out into the Midlands, into the East Midlands. Someone would have to. So I thought if I lived in this side of Birmingham, I could work at either end, which I, of course, have done.
Blockbusters, of course, has been reinvented on Sky. Were you not tempted to go back?
No, not really. I mean, I have had many super years on that, and you should always look forward.
Well, coming up later on BBC Radio Nottingham, I'll continue my behind-the-scenes tour of Family Fortunes, where we'll meet one of the families, and we'll also talk to the star of the show, Les Dennis. But for the moment, Dennis Liddington, thank you so much for joining us today and allowing me to bother you. You must be quite stressed, I presume, making 3 shows a day.
Well, when you imagine we get in here for about 10 o'clock in the morning and we leave here about midnight, and we work a 5-day-a-week pattern, and you've got 30 contestants on 3 shows to go and meet, and it's not stressful in the worry sort of. I mean, there are lots of people that suffer far more stress than I do, but it's the length of the day really, and it's just keeping at it and keeping up there.
Well, I have to say, I hope you don't mind me saying there aren't any bags under those eyes, so you're doing very well. Thank you so much for talking to me today, Dennis Liddington.
Great pleasure.
Well, I'm still doing my behind-the-scenes tour of Family Fortunes here on BBC Radio Nottingham, and I've come through to the canteen now. We've had all the stars here today. We've been sat here looking at Sherry Hewson and all those kind of people. It's marvellous. All the Crossroads lot have been in, eating away. But now I'm here to talk to the most important people, some would say, on Family Fortunes, the contestants, and I'm joined by, what's your family name? I know your individual names.
The Clarks from Tunbridge Wells.
The Clarks, right. We've got Louise, hello.
Hello.
Hi, I sound like Leslie. Laura.
Hello.
Roger.
Hello.
Totty.
Hiya.
And what a nice bit of Totty you are. Ruth.
Hi.
Hello. And Anthony.
Hi.
Hi. And also joining us today is Denise Kelly, the Senior Contestant Researcher. I'm so honoured.
Hello.
It's a very nice title, that, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
Why did you want to be on Family Fortunes?
Well, we're all quite talented, we feel, and we wanted to display our talents to the world. So
Now, there could be a thin line between talented and mad. Which side of the line do you fall on?
probably mad.
So what's your objectives? To win the prizes or to have fun?
I think the first objective is to have fun, but if we win the prizes as well, great.
Now, are they looking after you today? Because I do worry about you. You're looking very thin, Totty.
No, we're fine. Yeah, we've just had lunch. Very good.
And they put you up in a hotel last night.
Yep, they did.
Was it a nice hotel?
Yeah, very nice.
Wasn't a cheap B&B or anything?
No, nothing like that.
I'm just making sure you're looking after them well, Denise. Now, what do you look for in guests, then, and your contestants?
Well, we look for nice smiling faces, which you can see all these have got, every single one. And they need to be able to chat back to us when we do the audition, and they need to be able to play the game, because although the game is just a bit of fun, there are rules, and conferring, particularly on Family Fortunes, is very difficult, and this family did it superbly.
So responding and playing the game, that's me out, isn't it, really?
Yeah, no, you'd be all right. What's your family like?
Oh, they're dreadful. Very dull. Very, very boring. You wouldn't want mine. They're all locked up anyway. So, what is the procedure of getting on the programme? Do I have to come and do an audition, more or less?
Yeah, we travel all around the country. When you first apply, you will have ticked which city you would most like to have your audition in, so whichever one is nearest to your house. These guys, you came to London, I think, didn't you? But we go all over the country. We go to Scotland, and we go to Northern Ireland, and we do Manchester and Liverpool and Birmingham and all sorts of places, Southampton. And when we go to these places, we play a bit of the game with people, and they have to introduce themselves to us. And they have to be able to do both those things, because they're going to need to do both those things on the real show.
Now, I was talking to the very important producer earlier, Dennis, and I was saying that Bob Monkhouse once told me that it's very hard to find 5 intelligent members of a family. Now, this is no indictment on you whatsoever. How difficult is it finding a bright family?
It's not as difficult as you would think.
Really?
Don't judge everyone by your own family.
Absolutely. Well, social services have been involved with mine, so...
This family is very bright, and I think Laura graduates tomorrow, don't you?
I do, yes.
Graduating in what?
It's creative studies in English with cultural studies.
You're almost too posh to be on this programme, aren't you? You're obviously a very intelligent and bright and happy family. Do they work you into a frenzy so you're going to be all excitable on the programme?
Well, they haven't yet, but we're hoping they're going to.
And have they been giving you sandwiches and drinks and knickknacks and cheesy puffs and things?
Yes, we've had plenty of that, yes.
Have you really?
More drink, though, we could have.
But no alcohol, I hope.
Well, not yet.
Now, I was being told earlier you have to be 17 to come on the programme, is that right?
16.
I beg your pardon.
You have to be 16, that's the minimum age. Most shows it's 18, but it's 16 on this one. But there is no upper age limit, so if there are any octogenarians out there who want to come on the show, they'd be very welcome.
So my father, who's 104, could come on?
He could indeed, yeah. Only if he's got all his marbles, which I know is looking a bit doubtful,
dear.
isn't it?
Oh, well, that's him out then. Anthony, I presume you're 17 as they all pointed to you?
No, I'm 16.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I made the audition by one day. It was the day of my birthday.
And why did you want to come on this? Is it cool to be on Family Fortune?
Yeah. Well, Louise and Totty wrote in and said that we wanted to be on the programme, and we just made up the team when we were told we had to come to an audition. So.
Was it a family decision? Did you all sit round the telly watching Les and thinking, right, I want to be on that programme and I want to do it? What, Roger, you're the man of the household. I mean, was it your decision in the end?
No, it never is when I'm surrounded by so many lively ladies. And in fact, it was Louise's idea in conjunction with Totty that they thought it would be a good idea. And I think they've watched my brother, who is an inveterate television show maniac, who couldn't come on this show because he couldn't make the auditions because he was in Bangalore in India. So he had to drop out, and my wife had to drop out as well. So we were lucky Anthony had his birthday when he did, or we wouldn't have had a team.
So let's work the family through then. So Louise, who are you related to in what position?
Well, Roger, who's the team leader, he's my dad, and
Right.
Anthony's my brother.
Right.
And then I've got my auntie Ruth and my two cousins Totty and Laura.
Right, they're your cousins.
Yeah.
I thought you'd had a very big family for a moment, Roger, but it's not quite as bad. Well, listen, I hope you have a fabulous day here at Family Fortunes. At the end of the day, what do you want to come out thinking? What do you want to feel, even if you don't win?
That we've enjoyed ourselves and that we haven't made too big a fools of ourselves.
This is the final point I was going to come to. Some have come on this programme and asked to name something green and said a tomato. Ruth, not that I'm insinuating that you might give a silly answer, but are you worried that you with all the lights, camera and action and all the audience there's probably 500 people in the audience, that you could be overcome by emotion and end up saying something silly?
No, I won't, but I'm sure somebody else in the family will.
Why were you looking at, I can't see your name tag there, Laura, why was she looking at you then?
Because I did it in rehearsal, so.
Oh dear. And what did you say?
Well, I said that you might get squeamish if you ate a slug.
Right.
I think the answer was a snail, not a slug.
Right. They're very similar, and for a university student, I suppose that's an easy mistake to make. Listen, I wish you the best of luck today. I hope you have a fabulous day with Family Fortunes. And Denise Kelly, thank you for allowing us to talk to some of your contestants today.
You're very welcome, and if any of your listeners would like to apply, we'd like to hear from them.
Right, and what do they have to do?
They have to send a stamped addressed envelope, because we're very stingy with postage. If they send it to Family Fortunes, Carlton Television, Lenton Lane, Nottingham, NG7 2NA.
Give that again.
It's, well, I'm sure if you just put Family Fortunes, Carlton TV, Nottingham on it, it would get there. But it's actually Lenton Lane, Nottingham, NG7 2NA.
And you must have a family that's wonderfully entertaining.
Yep.
Can answer Les back.
Yeah, they can be any relation by blood or marriage, and we accept common law relatives as well. They count as in-laws.
And you must be over 16 and not say that something squeamish is a slug, did you say?
Slug, yeah.
She wasn't far off, was she?
No, close enough.
Thank you very much, all of you, for talking to us today on BBC Radio Nottingham.
Thank you.
The Alex Belfield In Conversation podcast with daisymedia.co.uk. Alex Belfield.